That will be your first blood. Go into the trees, but that's not going to happen. Just too many heroes there. So Stark GG will pick up the first blood as well as establish dominance on this rune.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising that they were actually able to get a kill there. But Swift Ending just wasn't prepared for it, I guess. And this doesn't really affect the Spectre too much. Like, it really hurts if you're the enemy mid laner because you have something to lose. But the way that you build this for the poor man shield first anyways doesn't really affect your goal too much. It really hurts the mid laner though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who got the first blood actually? I was DC'd. Okay, Trixie. Oh, that helps him quite a bit. They're actually just going to try to get a one-on-one matchup for Trixie, and they're going to try to swap the lanes around, but you might just see like a counter swap around.
That's interesting because I really thought the Beastmaster was in a good position as an offlaner against the two supports that I feel don't do a whole lot of damage and a carry that doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The natural tankiness and aggression of the boars would have allowed the Beastmaster to do better in that situation than normal. But I guess when Stark GG very clearly have a much more powerful tri-lane, then it's better to kind of push that advantage.
I think once the Spec gets a Radiance in the game, like if he does it before 25 minutes, the game just ends. Because if you look at Stark's lineup, they don't have the best way to go late game, which is where I think the Jug comes in with the healing ward, so you can negate a lot of that Radiance damage and being able to like sustain your pushes.
Yeah, in a way, Juggernaut is a decent pushing hero.
Probably more importantly than that is it's such a safe tri-lane hero because you can't really die. Like, you've got high stats, are decent anyways. Blade Fury makes you near invulnerable, obviously. Especially in the early game, it's so effective at keeping you alive when spells are the majority of the damage. That it makes sense. I just like that they're putting pressure on these lanes just because you want to try to get as aggressive as possible. Like, in fact, I would just like to see the Sky maybe even just rotate and give this Jug like a little bit of an advantage, and then you can start to rotate out.
You can't pick up non-heroes, right, in Snowball? Even if they're hero controlled?
Oh, like the Born stuff?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can.
No.
That'd be weird.
Block out here on Trixie, but there's nothing to really take advantage of it, especially with the Boar slowing down Swift Ending. Middle lane defeat. Oh, he's dead. Pycat's going to be able to get that kill. So 4C&L now off to an early start. They did give up first blood, but still, even without that first blood gold, Pycat winning that 1-versus-1 matchup is going to be critical.
Oh, that's huge. We talked about it in the past. It gives such a big advantage to the enemy mid hero. It's usually if it's like first blood, then it's upwards of like 600-700 gold. But it was the second blood, so it doesn't mean as much. But still, like a 500 gold plus like one full level advantage that the mid lane now has is pretty huge.
Right. Man,
that's what you're really.
If Trixie had played that perhaps a little bit more aggressively, he would have been able to get a kill on RMN. He actually had a really good blockout with the Ice Shards from Valix. But 60 Boom, meanwhile, playing up against OKC and Boogie. This is going to be a little bit of a tough lane. He does have magic wand charges, so he has enough for the cogs. But if he ever gets caught by the slow and silence and just run down in melee range from there from the Blade Fury, he could very easily die. EGM gets scouted out once again.
They're just trying to make sure that they have to pretty much secure the Spectre's laning phase as much as they possibly can. Like sending the Earthshaker up here is a lot better than, for example, sending the Rubik. Like you said, the Rubik can't really trade with the Boars. It's not the safest hero to put up here because if you just get gone on with like the Snowball, you probably just straight up die, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of whole counter-offensive potential that you have, and so putting the Earthshaker up here, originally they sent him mid to try to help the Queen of Pain out, but the Queen of Pain is doing so well that it's kind of irrelevant. Like, she was able to get a solo kill. Like, that's not something you see very often, especially that early on. And it's going to play a pretty big role in how the laning phase works out now, because now that Pycat has a solo kill in this lane, you're not nearly as pressured as you once were. You don't feel antsy at all, because you know that at minimum you're probably winning 2 lanes.
Yeah. And Sexy Bamboo is really not doing bad himself. Like, he's dropped a bit low, but he got the really early Magic Wand. He's got so many charges behind him. He's unlikely to die. Oh, this is going to be bad. Or good, depending on how you look at it. That's going to be a light strike. Array completely misses. They get a two-man stun. RMN throws out the telekinesis, but a snowball pickup will deny him that opportunity. EGM going for the deny of the neutrals, doesn't quite get it. Still, though, they only lose one of their supports against that Invis rune of the Lina. That could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, EGM dying there. Pretty unfortunate, but you'll live with it, and this is going to mean RMN actually dying. He's going to try to pick up and survive.
Get to the Ancients. Maybe he can't deny himself. Here, Sonic Wave. Oh, he managed to get the deny on himself.
Pycat's
Plus,
gonna get
he
a
lured
double.
the rest of Stark into a bad position against Pycat, who easily cleans both of them up. A double kill for him in exchange for a suicide on the Rubik.
That's so huge. Like, Pycat has long been regarded as like one of the better snowball players in the game. I think, like, for good or worse. Like, personally, I think Pycat's just an excellent player overall, and you don't really want to give a player like this just the advantage that you just did. This is a fairly big net worth swing that he's going to take now. Like, you compare him to the rest of the pool, the Beastmaster second, which you really don't want to see if you're Stark. Like, that's not a positive sign whatsoever. Like, fantastic. You don't want your highest net worth hero to be, you know,
a utility hero and an initiator, not actually a damage dealer.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it comes to the mid game. So now you've got this hero that doesn't do nearly as much as you want it to necessarily do. And on the flip side of things, the Queen of Pain is snowballing pretty hard. Delina's been shut down pretty bad. And now she's just going to revert to the jungle because she realizes she doesn't really have the toe-to-toe potential that she once did. And you don't want to constantly just sit heroes mid because you still want to put some pressure on to Swift Ending playing that Spectre. Like, that's the worst part of all of these exchanges right now, is that you want to help out your mid laner, but at the same time, if you put too much emphasis on him, then you're eventually just going to let this Spectre slip back into the game.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Sexy Bamboo, he actually got a smoke now. The problem is going to be if he tries to throw a hook and intercepts the Hawk, but nice realization there. Throws out a rocket and actually kills the Hawk, and will go exploring now in the jungle to see if he can find somebody else, because clearly the top lane has been tipped off. I'm not actually sure where they smoked, but they might have been scouted, perhaps, by this ward.
This Lina's just playing really far back. And now they're going to know for sure. And this is a pretty big investment by Bambo, of all people. Just because, you know, he's been running around for quite some time. He was doing okay in this bottom lane. I think he senses, though, that once this Jug hits level 6, it's kind of time for him to move.
Yeah, he's going to die to the first Omni Slash that comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he does get a hook shot here onto Nemphy. Now, can he actually get the kill, though? Snowball trying to come out from Valix in order to save him. Does manage to get a beautiful save. And Nemphy is actually still going to die here. The battery assault takes him down. 60 Bamboo, heavy commitment, but he does get the kill in the end. And he's okay with dying here. He's going to try and get to the neutrals. Actually, with the Sonic Wave coming out, he's going to be able to pick up a double kill on Pycat. And 60 Bamboo's getting away. The boar is slowing him down, but he's going to be able to get out. And Trixie has actually slowed down Pycat. He's trying to catch up. Another blink up in a second, but I doubt he's going to be able to catch anything here. Unless Trixie comes back. Oh, Pycat. They do have Boogie here with the Omni Slash ready to go. Pycat, he's waiting on the Omni Slash. See if he can get it faked out and blink away. It's not going to happen. A regen rune picked up for Pycat. If this game couldn't be any easier for him.
And that was like the most Bambo thing I've ever seen. Like the craziest commitment dive ever. Still manages to get the kill. Leads a bunch of heroes away and then survives. That's the thing about Bambo, is like, it's so underappreciated how fun it is to watch him play. It doesn't always work out, and often it doesn't. But being his teammate was like the funniest thing ever, because you never knew what you were getting. On Zephyr, it's just like either he ends up with like 3 kills or he's flaming the other team for making the logical play. You're like, Bambo, how do you flame them? They just killed you. But it works out in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, and bottom again. This has just gone all wrong for this Lina.
Yeah, it really has. Lina has died 4 times now.
This is almost like starting to become like an unrecoverable position, just because now the Queen of Pain has enough HP to survive your burst no matter what. And once this Clockwork gets his Blade Mail, what are you meant to do on the enemy team? Like,
Yeah.
You don't want to commit anything against it. It's probably only like the Jug that can survive against that, because he can still Omni without any fear of repercussion. But for example, like a Skywrath or Beastmaster or Alina, those heroes get torn up by that item.
Yeah, Pycat, now that he knows that he can survive through that burst damage, he'll just play all the more aggressively, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Having that point booster, 1200 HP, especially with the new setup on the Lina and how much damage it does, it's not nearly as strong, obviously. Like, because you're gonna get the second level of Fury Soul, right? When you're level 7, you'll have at least one level of Fury Soul.
Yeah,
is what I mean. So lightning or light strike array, 80 damage after a reduction closer to 65. It's actually nothing.
Yeah,
that tickles you.
Oh, Bambo is thinking about a hook shot there on the Beastmaster. Doesn't commit. Just a bit too far back. When you're this far ahead, wouldn't an Orchid be valuable in this game as the Queen of Pain, or do you think that it's just safer to go for the Ags?
No, I don't think you can afford to go for an Orchid against a Skywrath, Beastmaster, Lina.
Yeah.
Because if you go for the Orchid, you die once, which is really obvious with that build. It's like 872 HP with an Orchid and a Wand. If you're not constantly staying on String Shreds, then you just get blown up once and all of your net worth lead just evaporates.
Right.
Whereas going for like the tankier build is kind of better. Like the only real Orchid target that you would consider really is the Jug, but I think that he's not nearly as big of a concern when you have a hero like Spectre that can just like haunt and potentially tank some hits.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point.
I'm throwing on my A-game analysis for this. We got to practice for ESL, dude.
We do. It's coming up very shortly. Spectre has an urn now, so expect him to start coming to some of these fights, though. The fight is actually going to come straight to him. Swift Ending is going to be in some trouble here. Does still have the ultimate. Is going to pop it now in order to deter the Omni Slash, and will be able to bounce himself away. As he goes over to Valix. Valix is actually low enough. Jesus, look at that desolate damage. Just tear him apart. Nevi's going to try and run down Swift Ending, but he keeps himself in the trees. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Trixie's a little bit trapped in. Does manage to get out. Boogie, though, is still looking for that Omni Slash, but won't be able to get in range. EGM, with just a really good Fisher block, is able to make sure that they all survive. So the attempted gank by Stark GG onto the 4 Clovers and a Lepricon turns out real bad.
So the Jug kind of side counters it because of the Healing Ward, but at the same time, the Spectre Haunt, what do you do when you're a Juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, like that was a 2-man gank that turned into your Tusk dying to the Spec solo, the Spec getting out, and then you having to rotate 4 heroes down and have to use your Beastmaster Roar, and you committed your carry to that at the same time. I think they even lost the... they didn't lose the tower, so... I mean, the laundry list of things is pretty rough, but... if you're Stark, you still have a lot of opportunities this game. It's just this Lina somehow has to catch up. Like you have to set up a kill for her as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because she needs a way to get back into this game really quickly. She's probably the only hero that they can bring in that'll really be able to pressure this Spectre. Who, once he has Haunt again, he can just like pop that. They can roam around with their team and start to get really aggressive with this Clockwork, who has a fully completed Blade Mail. And I know as an offlane player, you have to consider this fairly quick.
Yeah, the early Blade Mail is so threatening. I mean, how did any of these heroes really deal with it? Tusk will be able to like snowball just to buy himself time, and there is the spin out from the Juggernaut, but everyone else is very susceptible. There's no escape mechanism for these heroes. So you can see Skywrath Mage, Jesus. He just disappeared under the weight of that double damage from Pycat. Looks like they're going to go for a kill on a Pycat, but this is going to be very hard without Walrus Punch. In fact, I'm going to say impossible.
No, I don't think they can do it without the Walrus Punch.
In fact, the hookshot comes in for Sexy Bambo, and now they spotted out Valix, thanks in part to the Spectre's ultimate that goes down Snowball, and they're actually going to go for
Stick together.
turn around here. Swift Ending trying to stay with this one. Omni Slash actually stays on a Sexy Bambo, and he will go down because of that one. Swift Ending now just trying to get out, hides himself in the trees, silence up. Pycat is controlled. He's going to go down as well, it looks like. What a big win for Stark G. GG. You said they had to get something for this Lina. Well, she doesn't get either one of those kills, but at least she's a part of it.
That was so rough because they weren't 100% sure what the target was or what the play was, and then it just took too long. When I was saying stick together is because you knew the Omni Slash was going out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like half the hits land on Bambo.
I think it stayed on him.
Yeah.
I think all of them hit Bambo.
That's so unlucky actually, because the only person that can really afford to kill him is the Jug,
Yeah.
and then the Jug kills him. If he was able to survive even with like 400, 500 HP, then you pop the blade mail and you have a way to re-engage. But
Right. You at least dish out enough damage, even if you do die, that the enemy team is...
Bambo's just gonna run into somebody right now.
Trixie has no board to be able to soak this one up, but the turnaround Skywrath Mage, careful with that blade mail. It's active. Trixie's actually barely going to be able to get away here.
Oh, that's slow.
Jeez, it's so rough. Pycat's going to try and catch up still. Sexy Bambo, a rocket up. It's only level 2. Never mind, Pycat's got it.
Yeah, he had no TP. If he had a TP, that could have been like a really sick escape.
Mm-hmm.
That Skywrath though, that's what I'm talking about. Like, getting this blade mail this early, that Skywrath loses like more than half his health trying to help out his Beastmaster.
Yeah.
He's gonna go for the. I can't remember who started doing this. I think the first person that I saw do it was Faith on IG, like mass Null Talisman like Treads build.
Oh yeah.
Try to survive.
It's pretty decent. Just like it gives you a gigantic mana pool. Allows you to spam out arcane bolts constantly, and obviously increases their damage. But I think it's just a really good, cheap way to tank up. Actually, even though they're intelligence, they're intelligence items, they still give you some okay strength stats.
Yeah. Weird thought. I would kind of like to see Pycat get a Lincoln's.
Just to kind of ensure that he always stays alive.
Yeah.
You've got 3 big time ultimates you can't afford to take, plus the silence.
I was thinking of a BKB, but you can still get crushed by Roar, Walrus Punch, Jug ulti.
Yeah.
And the Yules I don't think helps you nearly as much. And at bottom,
Trixie, you might have to just commit for the tower here. Sexy Bambo, he's managed to catch you, but it doesn't happen. He didn't have enough damage, then Tier 1 tower will get denied, and the Queen of Pain picks up the kill.
Yeah, and now Swift Ending is getting pretty close to that Radiance. Just, the Relic is really the part that scares you. Like, once you know that Swift Ending gets the Relic, the Radiance is pretty much inevitable, and I don't think they have a mech hero, or a natural one anyways. Yeah. The one that you might see it on would be the Beastmaster, but he's opting to go for the Necrobook to just add to that push factor. But without a mech or a pipe or anything like that, it's going to be really hard to sustain your pushes against a Radiant Spectre who pretty much sets a clock on the game.
Yeah. I mean, Spectre's so tough to farm with, but once you get that Radiance, it becomes so easy to pick up kills, have fights, as well as farm. Like, just everything becomes different once the Spectre has the Radiance.
It's honestly kind of fairly irrelevant whether or not Spec is like top 2 net worth. If he is, then you probably won the game anyways.
Yeah.
But if he's like 3rd, like he is, and 1,400 gold behind the Jug, you kind of just expect this. Because the Jug can just safely farm out. He understands that the likelihood of him getting ganked is a lot lower, just because the amount of heroes that would have to do it and the precision required is so high. Whereas to kill a Spec, you just drop a bunch of nukes on him and he dies.
Alright, the tower's gonna fall. Looks like Stark are just giving that one up. Boogie was heavily pushing in the top lane, as much as he could anyway. But doesn't want to try and push too aggressively and get caught up by 60 Bambo plus TPs. S&Y now complete for him, so that item still being built. Didn't go for the Mask of Madness, which I still like. Juggernaut's one of the few heroes I still like Mask of Madness on. I think it's questionable on Spectre. I've seen some builds where Spectre is still going Mask of Madness, but I think that item just got the nerf that it received in 6.84. Just doesn't allow it to be as viable.
I think that Mask of Death is okay for jungling.
Yeah, I think Mask of Death. And then again, at a certain point, if you've already committed to the Mask of Death, it's an extra 1,000 gold for an increase in farming speed. Do you think that's worth it?
No, I think you just keep on the Mask of Death, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's so huge that every minute on your Radiance matters a ton on the Spectre.
Yeah.
You want to try to get it as quick as you can. But everybody from Stark, they're trying to keep in this game. And Belina, to her credit, has caught up a decent amount. Like, she has her Yules now. she's got level 11, so the things that you want on her are available. You would just kind of hope that she has like half an item more than this.
Oh, Spectre ultimate. I think this is it's just a scouting ultimate. There's just too many heroes off map, so it's very rare to see that. I mean, for this ultimate, it takes 2 minutes to come back up. But I guess Swift Ending was probably a little bit unsure if he was getting ganked or not.
Yeah,
so he just wanted the information so we could finish up the Sacred Relic in peace.
They just wanted to triple check.
Yeah.
Like, why not use it? You're 200 gold away from your relic.
Yeah, you're so close. If you got ganked just before, that would actually significantly hurt 4C&L's chances of winning this game. Looks like they're going to check out Roshan. They do know what's happening. As the Rocket's going to come in. Stark, they're actually gonna continue here, making the commitment because the Spectre ultimate's down. They figure it's unlikely, but 60 Bambo's just gonna go right in with a Sonic Wave over the top, hitting on 3, push out over the side. Trixie is able to get himself away. Pycat, EGM actually drops the Echo Slam, though the heal is still there, and Pycat has to back himself up. Swift Ending is coming in now to try and clean up some of these heroes, but he doesn't have nearly enough damage. It will be blown up by the Laguna Blade. That was just underestimating the sustained power of the healing ward right there.
That healing ward was pretty absurd. Like, Nempi had 100 HP, and then by the end of the fight, he's absolute full. And Boogie was able to save that ulti for the last second. Everybody was kind of in sync there from 4C&L. They just didn't prioritize the ward because they thought they'd gotten a good enough initiation where they could have just bursted down 1 or 2 heroes.
Yeah.
But the counter initiation was really good. Even if they didn't kill Pycat, they deterred him from continuing to go in. And that was pretty significant because right now, when the Spec doesn't have a Radiance, he's their primary damage dealer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, everything is kind of just turned around for Stark with that one fight. Like, that was almost a 4K, 5K advantage for 4C&L. And now that dips actually slightly in favor of Stark.
Yeah, pretty dramatic indeed. Spectre dying there. Unfortunately for Stark, though, that doesn't really stall up the Radiance that much, as he had bought the Relic and didn't have much gold left at that point in time. But I don't think 4C&L would have taken that fight if they didn't already have the Relic. So
this Queen of Pain, though, she's still pretty farmed. She's got the Soul Booster.
The farming speed of the Spectre is increased so dramatically in certain camps now. Like when you're dealing with the Centaur camp.
Oh yeah.
You kill the small one, the big one just dies so quickly now with the new Desolate.
Same with the red creeps. Oh, this is potentially shaping up to be...
Yeah, the dagger's gonna
big.
fade and Swift Ending won't be able to have an escape soon.
4 seconds.
Oh, he's gonna get through the trees. Oh man, he's so lucky. At least he is for now anyway.
Okay, Boogie's gonna go for this, I think. He's gonna wait for Swift Ending to clear this camp. Swift Ending might just jump over the other side though.
No,
and he's just gonna run.
Up.
He's not actually the one with the Aegis.
I think he should have like just ulted, like at the very least EGM, and then spun TP'd out.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that interrupts, and that's hookshot.
You don't know where he is though, Bambo. I think it's pretty YOLO.
It just seems like an awfully big time commitment and opportunity lost, I guess. And that actually would have been really big. I didn't realize how close EGM was to his Blink Dagger. He's farming really well.
It's just the natural speed of the game, I think. Like, early on, they took a lot of engagements that they were pretty successful with.
Yeah. And then once you get Arcane Boots, like, everything speeds up for the Earthshaker. Once you have some sort of sustained mana where you could throw around Fissure to farm a little bit, or spam Enchant Totem in certain areas. Oh, the Yule Scepter put to work here on Pycat. They're going to double down on ultimates and make sure that Pycat does stay dead. So that's Laguna Blade as well as the Beastmaster ult. And they'll take a tier 1 tower off of that. That being said, Radiance is complete before the 25-minute mark, so we'll see if Blitz is right or not, and the game just ends.
That 1K, I mean, I thought it was going to be over considering the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Like, if that Roche fight had not gone as bad as they had, they'd be up like 5K net worth at this point. Your spec would have a Radiance, you could snowball. But Stark have just done such a good job of playing around the fights, and shout out to Boogie. That Again, that healing ward, you can't understate how much impact that was able to have.
It was massive. Oh,
that
three that Echo Slam there. The jump in, the hook shot misses, but everyone's so low, it doesn't seem to matter. Now with the Radiance burning away, Nemphy's going to be dying on the side here as Sexy Bambo is able to run him down. Meanwhile, the Omni Slash bouncing around. Boogie is going to be slowed down now as EGM jumps onto him with the Enchant Totem. Fisher out, and Boogie's dead as well. Swift Ending's just going to burn him down with the urn. Looks like finally Sexy Bambo went down, but he caused enough disruption there that they're going to be able to pick up a secondary kill, and Nemphy might even die as well as Pycat's going to catch up. Sonic Wave, oh, not quite enough, 10 HP.
He's going to go for
Pycat, he'll get the blink and scream.
That was a 5-man wipe off of that 3 or 4-man Earthshaker Echo Slam that they had no idea was coming.
Yeah.
They were barely grouped up too, and that, okay, so now things just get decidedly more complicated because Swift Ending was probably the biggest beneficiary of all of that.
Oh yeah, he just picked up his Radiance and now all of a sudden has 2,200 gold.
Yeah, if he gets a Manta style, I don't actually see a way that Stark can contest fights anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just, what an Echo Slam. That was pretty absurd.
Well played by EGM.
I mean, he probably got lucky. Let's be real.
I was just about to say no opportunity for Blitz to flame here, but I guess Blitz always finds a way.
He's gonna watch the cast because he's gonna fiend. So I gotta get some digs in while I can. I remember I made a Reddit post that was like, "Come watch TI4's like 14th place finisher, EGM come stream" or something like that, and people on Reddit thought I was like serious. I mean, we flame each other harder than anybody. Alright.
Let's see, we've got Necronomicon level 3 on Beastmaster. I was gonna point this out before the last fight.
Rubik has Omni.
Alright.
Alright, he just walks up there and casually spell steals it. Right on, RMN, you do you.
Boogie is sitting there going like, I have made a serious mistake.
The regret face if you could see Jug behind the mask.
He's trying to build into this Scotty too right now. He just needs another 1,200 gold, I mean.
He needs a sustain against all of this magic nuke lineup.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty rough right now.
Once again, just the basic Morbid Mask. No Mask Madness.
What a game-saving fight, though.
Yeah,
like, they have Necro 3 on Stark. They could have conceivably just, like, gone from, like, tower to tower, tier 2. The complexion of this game could have been completely different if it wasn't for that Echo mid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where individual plays really matter.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They might just be able to get a jump on Boogie somehow. EGM does have the Echo Slam. If he maybe sees an opening for a Fisher block. No, he doesn't want to go for it. Just blinks out, and that's a good decision. The rest of the team is coming in. Stark are actually 3-man smoked up, and there's no way Boogie would be playing so aggressively without some backup.
Unless he's just insane like that.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Always pretend. I know there's like one carry play, I can't remember, that just pretends like his team's behind him at all times.
Oh, the jump in on Nemphy. He's very dead. The Omni Slash is going to make it look easy. And now a 2-man hookshot cogs from Sexy Bambo. The snowball unable to save the Skywrath Mage in time. And Valix is just going to be drawn deeper onto the enemy side of the fighting ground. But Valix with the Glimmer Cape is actually going to be able to get some distance. Still, though, he will fall.
Yeah, and they're actually maybe going to go for more here as EGM's going to use the
Trixie,
Echo.
And he's just stalling up. Pycat's going to be able to catch up, and there's a dominating streak now for Swift Ending. And they'll even go for the Necronomicons because they're healthy enough to. Why not?
Yeah, everybody's just playing really well. Pycat especially has been just so aggressive. Same with EGM and Bambo. Like, the initiations have been there every time. RMN, the beginning of that fight, he was able to lift and just Omni Slash Nalina.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it really pays off as a Rubik, when you can just, like, solo lift somebody and then immediately Omni them.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, like, any other ability, maybe Nalina gets her Yules off. She's able to survive for an extra second.
You know, this is how Stark would win the game, by the way. Do you see Pycat?
What?
Sitting there in the top river, drops his items, picks up the rune, goes through the full, or not
the
full,
bottle duration?
but two different bottle durations with both of his significant items on the ground. His Soul Booster as well as his Aghanim Scepter. And I think his Magic Wand.
I mean, what a guy. The min-max god.
In Max God. Now he's got an Octarine Core. I was going to ask you, I was like, is this Bloodstone? I felt like it was going to be Octarine Core. And sure enough, with the Aghanim Scepter, that means a 30-second cooldown on Sonic Wave, and the Blink is insane too, 4.5 seconds.
No, it's the Scream of Pain, man. And the dagger? A 3-second Shadow Strike? Are you kidding me?
Okay, that is kind of
A
absurd.
5-second Scream of Pain? This hero just keeps fighting. You can't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop hip-hop. Queen of Pain at this point is going to be really hard to lock down, and once she gets like one defensive item, it's going to get even more rough. Maybe even just go for like a Shiva, so you have the Blink Shiva's combination, which is incredibly strong. But I mean, the Spectre is just kind of a beast now. With the Manta style, level 3 ulti.
Yeah, she just farmed Ancients. She farmed an Ancient stack. You don't say that very often about a Spectre, but the Radiance and Manta makes it possible.
This Manta style pickup, though, by Swift Ending, so strong. This is kind of like the strength of Spectres that, again, it doesn't really matter how far behind you are, because once you pick up 1 or 2 items, the hero just kind of gets out of control. It's like the least favorable hero you want to see on the other team when you're fighting from behind, because it just feels like you're fighting into nothing, because Spec's gonna outcarry you.
Pycat just casually dropping the ultimate there to clear through a wave. Because they know. Stark don't really have too many opportunities to force a fight, so it's going to be entirely in the hands of 4C&L. So if they want to throw a Sonic Wave around a little bit, wait 30 seconds to force a fight, that's fine. They have the ultimate of the Spectre right now, but they're staying pretty grouped up, which is probably for the best. The only real way that Stark can win a fight is through pickoffs right now, anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You're just gonna frontline Swift Ending now, who's got that point, or the Vitality booster.
Oh, Valix. He's been caught.
He's cool, he's
RMN,
cool.
he snuck in with the Glimmer Cape, but there's no follow-up.
Tuska's an unbelievable hero. He's alright.
Thought he was going to be clutch and pull off an Ice Shard, steal, and block.
You're asking too much. He stole an Omni Slash this game. RMN's done his stand-in duties.
What a god.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Find Juggernaut after
Radiant's
death.
bottom tower
Click
is
R
under
on him.
attack. Dire's
Another tower
middle
goes down. Swift Ending starts tanking up. I think that's really the worst feeling. Like, Radiance and even the Nanta, you can kind of deal with, but once the Spectre starts getting some serious HP stats, at that point in time, I usually feel like I just want to give up.
You just want to give up.
Yeah. Because then it's like, oh, good. Now every point of HP that he gets just means one more point of damage on the rest of my team.
I mean, it's pretty rough, and obviously it doesn't get better, but I don't know. You're not exactly just gonna call it a day if you're a professional team. Like, you're gonna at least go for a few more objectives, try to play for the next Roshan. That's like the one advantage they really have on 4C&L. Like, 4C&L's lineup would Rosh really slowly.
You probably break apart the S and Y, right, for Silver Edge as Boogie?
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like Silver Edge versus the Spectre, because Spec almost will never want to build a BKB in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, though.
They're going to try and drop all the bombs onto Swift Ending. He'll get the kill. Jesus, that was a Laguna blade thrown on a Spectre with like 10 HP. Doesn't matter. What a turnaround, though. The Echo Slam, now the buyback with the ultimate. And now disaster for Stark GG. Everyone run, everyone hide, because Stark, oh God. That was a massacre. Sure, they blew up the Spectre, but Spectre just buys back, pops the ultimate, and kills everyone else in return.
You'd almost call it a red wedding. Somebody in chat already made that joke, so I don't feel clever.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
made
was
that
gonna
joke.
say, I was like, did you actually come up with that joke?
Of course not, dude. Everybody has read or watched Game of Thrones by now. I was a hipster and I read the books. I haven't seen the series because I'm afraid of violence, as you may know.
You really are. Yeah, you would not want to. I mean, obviously, you've read the books.
When
so you
people
know what
told me that
happens.
scene was horrifying, I read the books and I could barely get through it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and
Wow.
that fight at bottom was pretty. It was pretty ugly.
Blitz had to look away halfway through.
All right, but 4C&L, you know, they don't do Roshan the fastest, so maybe this is an opportunity for Stark. Swift Ending did buyback for that. He didn't get a ton of gold just because of the penalty.
All right, Boogie.
Yeah.
He's just gonna go for the YOLO blink in. Oh.
Did you see that though? It takes them forever to Roshan. Like,
Spectre is not a great Roche hero.
None of their heroes are great Roche heroes.
Desolate doesn't. Oh no! I saw Desolate does apply to Roshan.
It doesn't matter though.
When I was watching earlier,
they don't have any physical damage dealers that are really fast. Like the Queen of Pain has gone for a build that is devoid of an Orchid.
Yeah. But the point is, I was gonna say that Spectre is a terrible Roche hero, and she was, but now she's not bad.
Nah, she's still pretty bad. You've got no attack speed.
Yeah, but Desolate.
Yeah, but you have no negative armor on the side of 4C&L.
Yeah, but Desolate.
But alright, whatever. If that's your response to everything, Cap, you immature.
Yeah, but Desolate. Whoa, 4-step. All right, that brings balance into the party. Okay, 1 versus 1, mano a mano. Still though, Boogie managed to finish up Roshan. Now they're going to go to Pycat here, pop the BKB. He's actually going to be able to survive through the Omni Slash and blink himself away. Boogie turns on to RMN with the help of the Necrobooks, easily gets that kill. Echo Slam laid out, EGM trying to stay ahead, but Boogie just right-clicks him down. Looks like the Lena's going to go down next. And Boogie, you don't want to challenge this. Even with the Aegis, there is no way you win this fight. And I think he knows. I think he's just saying, whatever, I gotta do it. Blink away. Okay, he's gonna get
Sonic
some
Wave number 2 from Pycat available already. If they can get some distance, or if they can actually close the distance here.
They get the slow on him. The Sonic Wave lands as well. Swift Ending is gonna catch up with the dagger in a second. And they'll just keep running him down. Forward staff forward, and now Boogie's dead.
What a dive.
Yeah, that was a gigantic dive, but they still get it, and an Orb of Venom as well, for some reason.
Yeah, that was a nice 4-staff. Bambo sends forth his spec. They realize, Pycat realizes, like, okay, if they haven't bought back by now, they wouldn't leave it to chance.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not going to buy back to save their jug. Or they can't. So it was a pretty sick dive. And that's the power of the Octarine Core Queen of Pain. Is that she was able to continue that dive. Because she has a 4-second blink and a 3-second shadow strike. She just keeps slowing him down non-stop. 50% move speed slow. 50% move speed
By the
slow.
time you get the second tick of poison, she already has another shadow strike up.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
It's
pretty
so
absurd.
I didn't realize shadow strike was that low of a cooldown to begin with.
I mean, once you level it, it's meant to. Because as a Queen of Pain, if it wasn't that low, then you wouldn't level it, right?
Yeah.
Like if it didn't take that low, you would just go stats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, well. Stark. It's 37 minutes in. It's a 10,000 gold lead for 4C&L and a 14,000 experience lead. Stark got to find a way back into this game, but how's that going to happen? I think they desperately need the silver. That's the start. And honestly, Boogie isn't that far away from it. He wasn't that far away earlier, but he decided to go for a Blink Dagger, which... Do you agree with? It seems to make a certain kind of sense in that you can't just go for the Spectre.
That's what you're meant to, just so you have the ability to cap close. But it's going to be rough anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be the last person surviving and getting cutted. I don't really see what item he's supposed to go for. Like, what does Boogie go for that really changes his team's fortunes in this game right now? Like, they just don't really have the best way to deal with the Spectre. Now that she has a heart. Once he gets, like, a butterfly or something like that, I think at that point, it does kind of become pretty rough from there.
Oh, Echo Slam! They have no qualms with just bursting down Nemphy there. And since they're already here, might as well push uphill. Stark, they do have the Omni Slash ready to go. Okay, Sexy Bambo kind of blocked out there. No hook shot for him. He's got an Aghanim Scepter, though, so he'll be up shortly.
Just sending Swift Ending in first to right-click the tower.
Oh, they got the healing ward.
Okay, RMN's insane.
I mean, there's not much Boogie could really do about that.
Yeah, you don't want to spin.
You could like just spin after throwing the healing ward, but that doesn't sound like, oh, jump in, hook shot, and grab straight on Trixie, force taps himself out, just trapping Trixie there in the background. Throws out the stun on the 6C Bambo. The rest of Stark still running away from all the Spectre illusions. In fact, Trixie's going to be run down by these illusions and might even die. Swift Ending's going to commit the dagger. Will be able to get the kill. Valix is going to go down as well. And now Boogie, turn around here. He has an Omni Slash in a second. Will be able to get it off, but it just doesn't seem to matter. Look at that. The damage just doesn't do anything. Boogie manages to blink himself after the Omni Slash. Well played there. But this only means he'll just, get domed by 6C Bambo. What? 6? Oh, and they actually get him. Swift Ending runs in, gets the kill there. And Pycat, excuse me, he's diving in even
Guys,
deep.
the game isn't over yet.
Pops a regen. Now the buyback from Boogie goes on to 6C Bambo, gets 1 kill there. Pycat will lose his regeneration as the Wild Axes catch him out. And now he's just trying to stay ahead of Boogie because that's all he needs to do. The rest of the team, meanwhile, focusing on that mid laner axe that they didn't take yet.
I like how Stark hasn't even GG'd, and yet 4C&L is still... They've gone for the stat pad dive.
Yep. There it is. GG.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, why would you go... It's just, you got a team with Bambo on it. You're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. I think at that point, though, they knew.
It's the moral victory.
Yeah. I mean, Stark had a really rough time in the early go of it. I think the Spectre got a little bit too farmed. And I think that Queen of Pain obviously got way too huge early on, but
Oh, yeah.
probably the biggest thing was just that fight in mid where they had the Aegis, they got a little bit too overconfident, and then EGM pops into them with the 3 or 4 man Echo Slam.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the first game, pretty quick, considering it's a Spectre game, ends by 40 minutes in. We'll see if Stark have a response, though. Don't want to disappoint that new sponsor, so